Hello, I'm Lubbock Mayor Dan Pope, and it's a great day in Lubbock, Texas. It gives me a special pleasure to be able to welcome you to the celebration of service, where we honor youth volunteerism. I'm a big fan of the Volunteer Center of Lubbock, and I'm an even bigger fan of the young men and women who take time to give back to our community. You guys are the future of our city, state, and country. I'm going to read this special recognition in just a moment, but I want to share with you what John Wesley said about doing good. And as a good Wesleyan myself, I often share this, and to me it means a lot. He said, do all the good you can by all the means you can, in all the ways you can, in all the places you can, at all the times you can, to all the people you can, for as long as you ever can. I like the idea of doing good. That's a lofty goal for one's life. I have this special recognition printed on our City of Lubbock fancy stationery, and I'd like to read it for all of you guys. Special recognition. Whereas, thus far this year, 25,000 youth representing 40 South Plains schools have volunteered their time, energy, and talents in helping others through the Volunteer Center of Lubbock's Youth in Service Partnerships, the United Way Youth Division, and HYPE, a youth leadership program for high school juniors, who I had the chance to talk with this year, by the way. And whereas these students have contributed many volunteer hours, have supported a multitude of organizations throughout Lubbock and the South Plains, and have raised funds to support individuals in need and to support nonprofit organizations that serve the interest of our city and our region. And whereas these youth have demonstrated a willingness to make positive changes in their communities, schools, and individual lives by meeting social, civic, and educational needs through direct acts of service. And whereas the acts of service of these youth promote civic engagement, build awareness, and form positive affiliations with numerous organizations for whom they volunteer. And whereas it is appropriate to recognize these youth volunteers during their annual celebration of service, as they are establishing a strong foundation for developing a lifelong commitment to serving their community. Now, therefore, we, the mayor and the city council of the great city of Lubbock, do hereby extend special recognition to the Volunteer Center of Lubbock's youth volunteers, and applaud all of you, all of these young people, for their ideals, for what they represent, their volunteer work that they perform, and the example they set for our entire community and region. Dated this 27th day of April, 2021, signed by the mayor and the members of the Lubbock City Council. Congratulations for what you do. Please keep up the good work.
Thank you, Mayor Pope, and welcome. What a great volunteer he is and a great leader of our community. We appreciate you. We're thrilled that you could join us today in our celebration of service. I'm Sharon Bass, Executive Director of the Volunteer Center. I'm joined today by my awesome team, who you'll be hearing from throughout our time together. These are the people that make so much happen every day at the Volunteer Center. I'm so grateful for each one of them. It is our joy to be able to gather people to do good. But everything changed in the past year about how we go about gathering together, and it's been stretching for all of us in so many different ways. But that didn't stop our young people throughout the South Plains from growing in compassion, generosity, resiliency, and leadership. Their actions inspire our team every day. Today, as we share each of our youth and family volunteer and leadership programs, you'll get a glimpse of the incredible ways young people have served. You can share your notes of encouragement and support in the chat box on the right hand side of the screen. You can also write a message on social media using the hashtag Celebrate with VCL, and it will appear on this event page as well. Your words mean so much to our young people and the adults who support them. Before we begin, we want to thank our generous funding partners, especially the CH Foundation, Helen Jones Foundation, Lubbock Area United Way, Atmos Energy, and United Supermarkets. They, as well as other donors listed in the program info, make this and everything else possible at the Volunteer Center. We also invite you to give today in honor of these amazing young servant leaders, their teachers, or their schools. You can give online by clicking the button at the top of this event page. Be sure to give us their contact information so we can notify them of the tribute gift you have made in their honor. We are so proud of the incredible work that all of our youth, families, schools, and community leaders have done to support volunteerism and leadership on the South Plains.
Hello, I am Melissa Crook, and I'm honored to share a little about our Youth in Service program today. Through our Youth in Service program, the Volunteer Center of Lubbock is able to partner with 40 area middle and high schools, providing them resources and support to carry out meaningful service in their schools and communities. We will be sharing some inspiring stories with you today, including from our partners at Spring Lake Earth High School regarding the opportunity they came up with to lift the spirits of their student body before the holidays, and the Lubbock Cooper High School group regarding their involvement in the community, even through the challenges this last year has presented.
Yeah, this year has been, unprecedented, of course. We're really limited in what we can do. Around Christmas time, we're ending near the end of this first semester. It was just the COVID cases seemed to hit like a huge spike, specifically in our community. So it was just really affecting everybody. And we saw everybody at school kind of seem downcast in that time. And it's just hard seeing the school like that. So I guess the unique opportunity that it provides us is we when we see the school down like that, as leaders, we want to change that. We want to make the environment better. Everything else in our lives from this point on is going to seem a little bit, is going to seem small compared to this year and just how incredibly hard it's been in so many aspects. But us being able to overcome that as leaders and as representatives of our school and still find a way to, serve, I feel like that makes us stronger.
Over the years of doing it, I realized you gotta have funding to do that, and we are so grateful for all the funding and sponsorship we get from anyone who gives us something to do. And that's really an appreciation for that is what has come from me personally.
Always nice to do stuff with people from your school and connect with them, and also you see how many people are in need and actually need help.
When I realize how difficult it has been and how many sacrifices, people have had to make, to see how many people were really stepping up to try to meet the needs, looking at, what can we do to really, lend a hand and do our part.
It helped us learn a lot about people who were in need of help, and it helped others know that we're here for them and we're not here to judge, we're here to help.
Recognizing a concern and planning a project out, that alone has given our students such a sense of accomplishment. We've been able to really make waves, not only in mental health, but also in feeling that sense of here's the expectation of what we're trying to do and what we're trying to move forward with, and really kind of hone in on giving our students that sense of accomplishment and that sense of opportunity and looking to the future.
It's really inspired me to go forward and keep volunteering even throughout college and the rest of my life, and really try and help change those people's lives, and maybe even start a foundation someday where I can help people and put them in a better position as a whole.
Seeing that impact makes me feel as though I'm making a difference in my community. And playing off of like making a difference in my community, seeing like being able to help any age group, whether it be from Angel Tree kids or to the men that were recently out of prison, being a high school student and making such a difference in certain different age groups really like makes me feel like I am important to my community and I'm benefiting my community in certain ways.
Thank you so much, Youth and Service Schools, for sharing your experiences with us. Some of the other stories that I have heard this year that have really resonated with me include Meadow High School did a mental health awareness day in the fall because they saw the impact the pandemic and division in our country were having on their student body. Youth and Service sponsor Vicky Bacon at Friendship High School used the pain in her own life of not being able to see her parents during COVID to help her students write letters and send cards to nursing and residential homes. Hutchinson Middle School sponsor Morgan Kirkpatrick did a book club with her students with the book Stamped, Racism, Anti-Racism, and You, a remix of the National Book Award winning Stamped from the Beginning, so they could have conversations with each other about what's happening racially currently and historically. She then encouraged her students to participate in our MLK Day Conversation for Good, which several of them did. To see their courage and willingness to learn by participating in these conversations gives me so much hope for the future of our country.
Hi there, I'm Kayla Thrasher. I do communications and operations for the Volunteer Center. Such a big part of what makes the Youth and Service program work is the fantastic sponsors. These staff members at the many middle and high schools across the South Plains dedicate some of their precious time to facilitating the Youth and Service program at their school. The sponsor for Irons Middle School, Lisa Gilbert, has been a part of the Youth and Service program since it began over 20 years ago. I actually went to Irons Middle School, and I remember Lisa being the heart and soul of the student council and all of the fundraisers, and she really inspires students to get involved. Now, Lisa is about to retire, but we were able to get an interview with her, and she shared with us her experiences in the Youth and Service program throughout the years.
Well, when we first started, it was kind of like Youth and Service, what is that? Nobody knew what that was, and it didn't, but we kind of actually adopted it as one of our sanctioned activities. We have our tried and trues that we do every year. And of course, Christmas is always a big time for us to do a volunteer project because kids are so into the moment during the holidays and they want to give and they want to help and they want to do these things. And so we adopt families at Christmas time. And that is definitely one that we have consistently done. But there are other things that we consistently do with the American Diabetes Association and the Cystic Fibrosis Association and leukemia, lymphoma. So, but one of my favorite ones was one of the first ones we did, which was a play as a puppet show that we actually wrote and produced and put on at Whiteside, which is a theater school, called Sunny Helps. And it was a little puppet that learned that she could volunteer even though she was a little kid. I started volunteering when I was in college, and I kind of found myself in it. And I think that that's what I love about the program, is that kids, watching them figure out that they matter, that they make a difference, and I'm one person, but I can make a difference. And not only that, I can help with the ripple effect, but just watching the kids figure it out, and then I go on, or they go on, and I watch them become more, and it's just really exciting. When I go on and at the events and whatever, and I see my kiddos that have gone on to high school, and then we meet at events and they come up, and it's just like, oh, and I'm so glad. And I'm, the ones that go on to other volunteer center programs. because watching them go from they don't even have an idea that they can make an impact to all the way through knowing that they do. It's an amazing feeling. It's an amazing teacher moment, and I will always cherish that, and I will always miss it. I'm so grateful to the volunteer centers and their donors that have made this possible. I know that when it started out, they weren't sure if it was going to be able to continue, and it has, and it's just, I'm not sure that we could ever place an idea about how much impact that program has made on these children. We talk about the children having an impact, but the impact that the Volunteer Center had when they put this program in has just been phenomenal. I mean, just absolutely amazing.
Hi, I'm Deanne Wells, and I coordinated our HYPE program this semester. HYPE, which stands for Helping Youth Purposefully Engage, encourages high school juniors to connect with others, learn from inspiring community leaders, and to grow as purposeful leaders themselves. Students participate in service projects and explore needs in our community that they care about and that they can help address. HYPE students experience how service, leadership, and collaboration can transform the world. HYPE had the unique experience and opportunity this year for students to join us regardless of if they were attending school in person, online, or hybrid. We even had a student who was able to join us from overseas in China this fall, where she was participating in our program in online school. Our students loved getting to meet local business, education, nonprofit, and government leaders virtually and hear how they've made an impact in our community during this year. Hear from a couple of our great students as they shared their experience in HYPE this year.
HYPE has honestly made my school year so positive. It's helped me mentally. It's given me so many different points of views on how to respect myself and others. And I also got to learn about different businesses and how they wanted to serve people in the community, help people, and also just like change people's outlooks on life.
It's really broadened my horizons to volunteering isn't just like a high school thing that you do. Like it's helped me to look for other opportunities in my future and keep that open. We talked about engaging purposefully and stuff, and that lesson really like resonated with me to start putting my energy and like being purposeful with my actions and my connections and what I'm doing and saying and striving to make things happen to like, better my future and to put in the energy to have, creating relationships and stuff.
It was really cool to just be able to still connect with people. And like, despite our traditional means, we were still able to connect and share ideas and learn new things. And I just thought like a general theme I got from it was like, not to let your situation get the best of you, but make the best of your situation. And I also thought like being able to talk to the people from different organizations, like nonprofit organizations and volunteer places, just seeing how their purpose is solely for people and serving people, but also how they never thought that was something they would end up doing, but they just very much enjoy it. Like, it just shows like how to have like such a selfless mindset, for others, but also understand just like how great of a contribution you can bring to the world. I never realized how much I would truly value just like each monthly meet together and just like the new things we get to learn, like especially creating for good, asking for good, just like a central idea is such a beautiful thing. And I'm so grateful to be a part of it.
In addition to having great experiences with our students, we also had great community leaders come and share with our students during our monthly class days. Watch with us and be inspired by the highlights from some of our HYPE speakers this year.
You've got so much in front of you, and you're so bright. And you need to dream no small dream. I look forward to one of these days, you guys stopping me and saying, hey, you talked to my HYPE class. I want to know how you're doing. You're going to do great. And I'm just glad I got to spend a little time with you today.
So if you're in a negative state of being, you need to work a little bit to get yourself back up. And I want you to think about that's where compassion lives. Asking the question to other people, how you can be more compassionate to them, And if you need a little bit of compassion, you can ask for it.
Never give up. Never give up. And in the process of doing these things, always remember to listen above the noise. When all of this is going on, kind of like with COVID, when all of that was happening, we still had to live life above the noise of all of that. Something for every last one of us to do. And if we come together and do it, we'll make great things happen.
Hi, I'm Candace Kristoff, Program Coordinator for the United Way Youth Division. United Way Youth Division is a volunteer program for Lubbock area high school students. Once a month, students will hear from a speaker from a United Way agency in order to learn more about their work in the community. United Way Youth Division seeks to cultivate a generation of leaders dedicated to serving their community through service projects, youth organized meetings, and opportunities for leadership. You will now hear from 2 United Way Youth Division students about their experience this year.
United Way Youth Division has definitely helped me understand that knowing that I can make a small difference in someone's life is one of the best experiences I can give someone. Not only have I grown as an individual, I've also learned how to work with others in order to achieve a specific goal and ultimately help others within the community. Volunteering, especially with United Way Youth Division, has greatly influenced my decision in order to pursue a career in healthcare, as just this hands-on ability to not only see the direct impact which volunteering can make, but also just understand that there is truly a special power associated with volunteering.
So essentially what we do is we choose a TED Talk and we take turns facilitating meetings with guiding questions in order to educate ourselves and become more knowledgeable on certain topics. In general, it has made me a more open-minded student, and I have a greater appreciation for those around me.
The students took what they learned in these TED Talks and examined how they can apply those leadership skills and principles to their own lives. I myself even feel like I've learned to become a better leader just from listening to their discussions. It's truly amazing to see how intelligent and perceptive these children are. Not only that, but I was able to witness these kids really connect with each other and challenge each other despite the circumstance of not being in person. United Way Youth Division is a year-round program, and youth may sign up at any time throughout the year. If you're interested, please contact me at ckristoff@volunteerlubbock.org. My information is in the chat.
Hi, I'm Riley Togla, and I'm the engagement coordinator here at the Volunteer Center. I'm able to work with our agency partners to set up volunteer opportunities around the Lubbock community for people of all ages. We have opportunities for families to volunteer through our From the Heart program, which are monthly volunteer opportunities during the school year and weekly choices to volunteer during June and July. Families are involved as well as youth from our other programs. We've had summer family volunteering, Family Volunteer Day in November, MLK Day in January, and Global Youth Service Day during National Volunteer Week this month. One memory I have from MLK Day in January was Roots Historical Arts Council's Volunteer Day at Booker T. Washington Community Garden. They had a ton of tech students and families over there. They had coffee set up for their volunteers, and people were working all over the garden and even outside of it too. They had so many families that they even had to send over 2 families to another location a few streets over. It was so great to see families eager to be involved in the community, even with everything going on in the world. You'll now hear from 2 of our families involved in our family volunteering programs.
When we first started having kids, I just really wanted them all to start learning that there's such a bigger world out there than their sheltered little lives that are perfect and easy. And I wanted them to see life isn't always perfect and easy, but how do you still have joy helping people and just being a friend to everyone, and especially people who don't look like you and talk like you. And we wanted them to be comfortable around all kinds of people and not just people who look exactly like them. So
I think it gave us something that we felt like we were doing something outside of ourselves, even though we mostly had to keep to ourselves for a lot of the summer. So it gave us an opportunity to get outside of our family group and even our own community, because we actually live in Levelland, and do something for the wide world out there. Because whenever you read the newspaper or you watch the news, you see so much of the bad in your community. But when you go out and you volunteer interacting with your community members, you see all of the good that surrounds you and how much good there is in the world and how great the world is.
Yeah, it was kind of nice to know after we finished it, it was kind of nice to know that we were like helping someone, like that. I'm sure they would kind of maybe look back and they might have benefited from what we did. They might be like, oh, that was really nice. And they don't know who did it, but it would just be nice to know that we helped someone.
I love that. Hi, I'm Jocelyn, and I get to do development with the Volunteer Center. I loved getting to participate in summer family volunteering last year. We were planning summer family volunteering not long after the first big lockdown began last year. There was so much uncertainty and fear, but also a huge groundswell of people wanting to help their neighbors. We saw so many examples of grassroots volunteering where people were coming together to help their neighbors, their family members, and their friends. And people were beginning to think creatively about how to safely connect with each other, a skill that we got a lot of practice in this year. It was such a privilege for the Volunteer Center to get to be a small part of helping shape some of those opportunities for family. I was able to participate in many of the remote service projects last summer with my own young kids. It was so special for them to begin making connections about how they could serve other people and make a difference in our community.
The Volunteer Center of Lubbock supports volunteers of all ages. One young volunteer in particular has shown much devotion to the community. Here is Trishawn Thomas.
So I started volunteering when Lemonade Day came to my school, and I was in elementary. And around that time, around like 6-7 years ago, I got a wish granted. If I make a wish to go to Disney World and just have fun, do regular kid stuff. But it was like kind of rough, but it wasn't rough to go because I was getting over a sickness, So, like I said, they came to our school and Lemonade Day was like, hey, help us volunteer. You can donate it to whoever you want. You gotta spend some, you gotta save some, and you gotta donate some. So, I went home and I bugged the crap out of my mom. I bugged her just to do it. And she was like, who you gonna donate the money to? I was like, Make-A-Wish. She was like, oh, that's a good idea. I was like, yes. So we started doing that, and we have been doing it for 5 years now. I volunteer because it makes other people happy. It makes Make-A-Wish happy. It's just not going to Make-A-Wish, just going to other kids. There's other kids out there with a person with simple asthma that has bad asthma, can get affected by that. They won't be able to run or do sports and, say they're in the basketball and they can't try for basketball because they have bad asthma. Make-A-Wish will try to help them out and, create them a thing to do, so they won't feel like they have this disease. Me, I have sickle cell anemia and I'm stuck inside all day. I can't do physical stuff, but that doesn't mean I can't put my mind to a physical challenge. So that's me. I feel like that's what it is. What I do as a volunteer, I make sure that my Lemonade Day stand is set up on Lemonade Day, Hopefully we can get enough people out there to make enough money, It's all about being a good host. If you're not a good talker, then you're out of there, But you have to have great talking experience. You gotta have a good Lemonade Day stand. It's just you just have to be out there as a volunteer. Anybody could do it, but I feel like I'm pretty good at it.
Trishawn was recognized in November at our cornucopia luncheon for his service in the community. If you know a volunteer that should be recognized, please consider submitting a Get Involved nomination form to our Tagwa at volunteerlubbock.org. Her contact information is in the chat.
Even though the school year is drawing to a close, your opportunities to serve will continue throughout the summer and the rest of the year. Visit getconnected.volunteerlubbock.org to see upcoming volunteer opportunities. And don't miss our From the Heart Summer Family Volunteering program that will kick off in June. This year, we will offer some remote volunteer opportunities in addition to weekly, outdoor, and socially distanced ones. So follow us on Facebook or Instagram to learn more. Please help us shine a light on our amazing young people by sharing about this event on your social media using the hashtag #CelebrateWithVCL. We invited our youth to enter a drawing for an iPad by offering their perspective on the importance and impact of volunteering through a short essay. Thank you to everyone that entered. And now, drum roll, congratulations to our winners. Woohoo! And finally, thank you to the 25,000 plus youth throughout the South Plains who kept making things better, even in the toughest times. Thank you to all of the parents and teachers and adult volunteers and nonprofits and community leaders who supported our youth. Thank you to each of the funding partners who see value in nurturing, service, and developing the next generation of leaders. Thank you to our board and to my awesome team. Thank you so much to each of you for joining us today. It feels good to celebrate. I hope you have been inspired to get more involved in our community like these amazing young leaders. Remember, there's nobody like you with the gifts that you have to share. Let us know how we can help. Hope you feel all the love and appreciation coming from here to there.